Sorry, I angry British man is the best I can do for Andrew Tate. I'm sorry, guys. So apparently Alex Jones urged Joe Rogan to host a pro-rape extremist. This is the third part in the Alex Jones spiral that we have been reading through. And there have been a couple of people who've commented on the fact that I maybe shouldn't comment on the Alex Jones stuff because it's basically just making fun of him. I'm going to be honest, as somebody who used to be a major fan of Alex Jones 15 years ago, I'm okay dunking on, or not, yeah, it was like 15 years ago. I'm okay dunking on him. I'm okay doing that. It's fine. It's catharsis for me. If you don't like that kind of content, I understand, but it's catharsis based on my past. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. But first, let's get into the fan art section. The first one we have here is Hol-chan is friend-shaped by Jet Fatigue. We have Hol-chan, literally the black hole behind me, because for Vosh's audience who's watching, apparently they turned the black hole behind me into a waifu. That's the thing that happened. But all the Vulpixes that are in this particular background are all being cuddled by Hol-chan. Apparently they are very, very, very wholesome. Literally. It's a pun. Anyway, the next one is also from Jet Fatigue, and it is Real Suris always wins. Please ignore the horrible exercise equipment. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Okay, so this is going to require a little bit of context. Years ago, I received a crocheted plushie of my character, and chat named it Real Suris a long time ago. And I still have him. He's actually hung up in my living room. But, so we have a gym with a Neckoin that is getting weights, Slime Girl Suris with a six-pack. I wish I had that. Arms are still made of slime. And then we have my non-slime version of my character all doing weights. And then Real Suris, the fucking plushie, lifting, what is that, 500-ish pounds? Maybe? Is that a black hole woman? Yes, Lucky Otter, yes it was. But is it everybody getting annoyed at Real Suris? And then apparently Blizzy, because literally the fucking tiny animal at my feet that you can see right now also got turned into a waifu. What is wrong with you people? Why is everything a waifu? Why do you want to fuck everything? But anyways, Blizzy was turned into a waifu, and apparently in this one, she's the receptionist as we are all leaving. And Real Suris is just being an asshole. And yeah, they hate that guy. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so, and even hit the bell notification icon if you haven't already. That said, let's get into the actual content here. So, Alex Jones urged Joe Rogan to host the rape apologist and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate on his popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. Tate, whom Romanian authorities detained over charges of organized crime, rape, and human trafficking in 2022, has on multiple occasions appeared on InfoWars as a guest, despite repeatedly making statements endorsing violence against women. Alex Jones has appeared on The Joe Rogan Experience as a guest, and Rogan's shows pull in hundreds of millions of downloads per month. Jones is also friends with Rogan, and both men live in Austin, Texas. Jones and Rogan exchange warm messages in the text Hate Watch received, and on March 6, 2020, for example, Rogan compliments Jones on his shaved head. The InfoWars host replies, "Now, for the Joe Rogan Alex Jones sex tape, that will break the net," along with a winking emoji. That's a thing. That's a thing. Why? A Comfy Night says, "The sounds of you closing and opening tabs is freaking me out, thinking my tabs are open and closing." I'm sorry, A Comfy Night. I'm sorry. I also never get on Rogan after the shit he pulled last time. True, but at this point, comment, this was behind. This was at a point before the times. Rogan spoke approvingly of Tate this year on a January 6th episode of his podcast, long after allegations of abuse that matched his hateful rhetoric about women had already surfaced. He said, I don't know what Andrew Tate did," Rogan said of Tate. The remarks came during an interview with Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, who has himself faced allegations of sexual misconduct. These people, all of them. How? Rogan went on to say, I know a lot of what Tate does is theater, right? A lot of what he does is very, very, like, satire. He plays the role of his boastful misogynist who smokes cigars and drives Lamborghinis, and that's his thing. And because of that, he's amassed an amazing amount of money, and he's done it by doing this character, this online persona. But then also he says very wise things. He says ridiculous shit, but also says really interesting things. He's a very smart guy. Maybe sometimes it's better to accept that the person on screen might not be playing a character so much as they're just playing an exaggerated version of themselves. If somebody tells you that they plan on beating women later, you could accept it as satire, or you could accept that, maybe, just maybe, there's something there, unless they are very obviously playing it as a joke. Andrew Tate plays his shit very, very straight all the time. I would be very confused if I found out that it was all theater the whole time, and he was actually just a wholesome boy in the background. Vile12458, thank you for the follow, and DePropagandolf, thank you for the follow as well. Let's see here. So that's where I go. I think there's a lot of people who think that, and I think there are people who take it seriously. Tate moved to Romania around 2018 and claimed publicly that he did so because he expected the country to be more tolerant to how he treated women. 40% of the reason I moved to Romania was because rape laws are more lenient here, he reportedly said. I'm not a fucking rapist, but I like the idea of just being able to do what I want. This is a sentence that will probably always go down in history with Tate. I feel like if you have to say this sentence, if these are the words that come out of your mouth where you're like, I'm not a rapist, but, first of all, never put a but at the end of that sentence. Horrible fucking idea. But if you have to, don't then go, I'm not a rapist, but I just like the idea of being able to do whatever I want to women, you know, without the authorities getting involved, you know, but I'm not a rapist. But the but always leads into something awful, so please don't. Just don't. On December 14th, 2019, years before Rogan's exchange with Portnoy, Jones texts Rogan to recommend he bring Tate onto the Rogan Experience. Jones makes a suggestion after the men discuss a conflict between them that's never fully detailed. Hate Watch reached out to Jones and Rogan for this story, but received no response. Just prior to the beginning of the series, Jones appeared to block the reporter who reached out for comment. Tate is currently detained in a Romanian prison and awaiting trial. Hate Watch contacted him via Twitter, where he's posted occasionally from jail, but did not receive a reply. On the morning of December 13th, 2019, Jones started a conversation with Rogan. The messages appear to refer to a conflict that arose between the two men, triggered by Jones's drinking. Hate Watch reported on allegations around Jones drinking on part 1 of the investigation. So, for context, for those who might not have seen part 1 of this, it was shown that Alex Jones has taken to drinking a lot of whiskey on set. Like, a lot of fucking whiskey on set. So how the fuck is he able to post from jail? So it's either posting from jail or he's got like an intern who's working his Twitter. It could be either one. It could be either one. You never know. For a change, Rogan didn't put a shit bag on. Yeah, for a change. But Alex Jones to Rogan. Here we go. This is the interaction. Hope you're doing fantastic, killer. I'm getting contacted by folks saying that you talked about a text I sent where I talked about drinking, and I said I was sorry. If true, that's fine. Please don't talk about the private drinking too much. My ex will blow it up. I'm a new person, and I do value our old friendship, and I would like to regain your respect. And I am sorry I went too far, and I ask you not to hurt me for it. I feel like this sentence right here is a bit much. It's very cucked Alex just going, hey, please just don't hurt me. Please just don't hurt me. Alex Jones drinking game, drink every time he asks for vodka. Oh my god. Bring vodka, a very common text by Alex Jones. Rogan replies to the text through a different phone number on the afternoon of December 13th, 2019. Goes, hey brother, you texted my old number. I didn't say anything bad about you. In fact, I gave you credit for being right about a lot of shit, including these Chinese monkey-pig hybrids. I might have mentioned you drinking, but it was just an excuse for you. If you don't want me to mention it again, I won't. Hope all is well. Thanks. People love to go stir up trouble. I'm doing really good. Saw you about the text. Smiley face. Don't worry, I won't start bugging you all the time. Yeah, people love to stir shit up. I'm very happy for your success, and I'm proud I know you, and I just want to clean up my work so I don't get to be only known for my out-of-control stuff. Have a great Christmas.
Christmas tree emoji. Coming up!
Okay, there we go. So I think Suris can do a great Sean Dyke with his Alex Jones. Maybe. Rogan then sends Jones a YouTube clip of him interviewing comedian Tony Hinchcliffe earlier that day. The two men discuss conspiracy theories in the segment. He references Bohemian Grove, an infamous campground in Monterey, California, that is a magnet for rich and powerful people. Zach Drucker, a former InfoWars employee, recalled to Hate Watch that in 2021, Jones attended a dinner with members of his team in a steakhouse in McAllen, Texas, near the city's convention center, and told stories about his friendship with Rogan. Specifically, Drucker recalled Jones saying that around 2010, Rogan flew Jones out to Las Vegas to watch an IFC fight, and that while there, he and another comedian did hallucinogens with the InfoWars host for several days in a hotel room. The group watched conspiracy videos on YouTube, according to the story Drucker recalled. So I've done content creator get-togethers in hotel rooms. We usually just play Super Smash Brothers. That's typically what happens instead. But here's the beginning of the texts, starting with Joe Rogan. I gave you credit for exposing Bohemian Grove, too. We talked about how if you had heard that without evidence, you would think it's nonsense, and you exposed it all to the world.
And the above video? Thanks, I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah, I think it starts around 4 minutes in. We talked about Kennedy and secret societies and all kinds of crazy shit that seems like it should be fake, but it's absolutely true.
They're really coming for me, and you doing a show in March really helped. So, thank you for taking the high road. That was the start of my life turnaround. No shit. I've lost 40 pounds. I was very depressed and raging. Was not lashing out at you.
It's all good, brother. I'm happy you're doing well. I hold no grudges. Life is short.
That's the fucking truth!
Ha. Well, I'm glad they patched it up 3 years ago, and I'm glad nothing has happened since 3 years ago to their friendship at all. Anyway, let's continue with how bad things could possibly get. Jones resumed texting Rogan at 8 a.m. the next day on December 14th, 2019, sending him Andrew Tate's contact information upon Tate's request.
If you could drop Joe a text...
Oh, wait, no, this is fucking Andrew Tate. If you could drop Joe a text and recommend me for his podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. Sorry, angry British man is the best I can do for Andrew Tate. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Jones and Tate appear to have dined together the night before, based on other messages in their exchange on that thread. So just hearing Sir say Christmas tree emoji in the Alex Jones voice. Fuck, clip it and throw in the clips channel. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Proper G, lads. Proper G. Oh my god. The floor just cracked a great British actor. Turtle Capper says, I'm grateful for your live streams. I don't tune in often, but you've become a comfort listening to since I was in your stream on January 6th. I have COVID and can't sleep, so glad to see you around. Well, I'm glad that I'm helping out in some way, Turtle. I appreciate it. Tate is British figures. I mean, so Himmler fried chicken. The thing you've got to remember is, hold on, trigger warning, British. Yes, Andrew Tate is from the land of the colonizers. Yes. Breaded breads. Breaded _ breads. Thank you for the follow. I said, man, that Alex Jones voice, though. Fun fact, one time I actually used this voice on Lily Simpson's stream. They were hosting a stream as a charity for, I think it was the Trevor Project. I don't remember which. It was a trans charity. And they were reading out a fanfic. It was a lemon of Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro being gay with one another, and they needed a good voice for the narrator, and they picked Alex Jones, and somebody reached out to me on Twitter and said to use my Alex Jones voice, so I got contacted and brought into the live stream, and then somebody donated $3,000 to the charity while I was using my Alex Jones voice, so I can now say, without a shadow of a doubt, I have a $3,000 Alex Jones voice, because a random person donoed once. Zephyr the Cosmic, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. That was a long time ago, but it was a very fond memory of mine. I was like, yay, I get to do this cringy voice for charity. It's great. But continuing on with the text, Alex Jones begins this one.
I have known this guy for a few years. He lives in Transylvania, and he's a really good guest. He's a longtime fan of yours, and said in the past you followed him on Twitter.
Yeah, he's been trying to get on my podcast for a while. I'm way overbooked now. Drucker, the former InfoWars employee, said that Tate's content fit in with InfoWars' target audience. He said, part of the audience that Alex glues to is a little bit, it's very pro-masculine, misogynist, Christian alpha male type of deal, Drucker said, comparing Tate with such InfoWars guests such as Gavin McGinnis and Mike Kernovich. They're presenting a He-Man woman haters club mentality that is the right wing attaches to fervently. Anyone who fits the bill is the type of person that Alex Jones wants on. Jones then pivots away from Tate, suggesting to Rogan that the podcast bring back Jones as a guest instead.
I'm not his agent, just passing info on. We all know who needs to come back on. That crazy guy who got the best numbers ever if you total up the clips from that day. I forgot its name, but the third time would be the best way to break the record.
Drucker depicted Jones's friendship with Rogan as imbalanced. According to Drucker, Jones needed Rogan more than Rogan needed him. I mean, that's kind of the way that a lot of content creation stuff works sometimes. Smaller content creators need larger ones more than the other way around, but Alex was already a huge name in his own right. Not for good reasons, mind you, but... A Little Rascals reference in an article, Boomer over here. He said he was always desperate. He was desperate to get Rogan on InfoWars. He wanted that publicity so bad, Drucker said of his former boss, and keep in mind, their relationship was very close at one point. Josh Owens, another former employee of InfoWars, told Hate Watch that Jones talked about his relationship with Rogan. He said the men seemed to have a real friendship with history behind it. I think Rogan had a significantly bigger show than Jones, Owen recalled. I think they were genuinely friends, and I think Rogan wasn't necessarily opening it up where Jones could come on there as much as possible. I think that frustrated Jones to a degree, or at least that was the sense I got. That's kind of frustrating to read. Alex Jones already had a huge show in his own fucking right, and I don't know, maybe it's just content creator brain of mine, but if there's a larger content creator, right, and then a smaller content creator, and the smaller content creator and the larger content creator do a collab, sometimes that one collaboration is all that happens, especially on YouTube. Like on Twitch, it's a little different. Collaborations can happen on repeat more often, but on YouTube, sometimes you just get the one. And it's very rare that you don't get more than the one because a lot of content creators, even fucking Joe Rogan, are busy as shit. We're always trying to plan out new stuff that we're going to be doing on stream or on our own channel, and if you've never done a collaboration, at least an edited video type of collaboration, it requires a lot more work, usually, than a standard video. When me and Logic did our collaboration, I think we worked on the video for about a solid month. The one with me and Telltale, I think, was a good 2 or 3 weeks. Like, that's just kind of how it works out. The only times it's not that way is when it's a live stream. And I know that in this case, it was closer to a live show for them, but at the same time, Joe Rogan's booked a lot of people. I may not like the guy, but him saying he's booked full, it makes fucking sense. It makes sense. Let's go ahead and continue on. Jones sends Rogan a link to an InfoWars post about environmental activist Greta Thunberg 3 hours after that text suggesting he returned to the show, but the podcast host seems to ignore it. The men resume chatting 2 days later when Rogan sends Jones an animated clip of the previous podcast they did together, which Jones calls avant-garde. Jones and Rogan continue to text one another throughout the files Hate Watch received. Jones sends more messages than he receives. The men primarily send links to one another and briefly comment on them. When Jones sends Rogan a link to an InfoWars clip about Google removing a video about using ultraviolet light to treat the emerging COVID-19 pandemic, Rogan responds by sending screenshots of a since deleted tweet claiming that CNN was collaborating with Biden's presidential campaign to cover up allegations of his misdeeds. Of course. Anyways. Koala Bearhand says he's been OneNote for like 26 years. Everything is deep state, globalist, false flag. Yeah, that's been the thing with Alex Jones forever. Oh, and selling gold and stuff. Total Cat Purrs, thank you very much for the subscription. And Moldy Gremlin, thank you for the follow. Said those two sound close to being more than friends. Yeah, just imagine Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, 2 guys sitting in a hot tub 5 feet apart because that's how big their dicks are. Well, that made it weird. Anyway, the last bit on here is just Rogan saying, fucking crazy that Google is willing to take that episode down. Rogan writes to Jones across 2 texts, they're all in on it together. Oh my fucking god. This story is part 3 in a series. Hate Watch will continue the investigation in part 4. There's gonna be a part 4. I have to do the voice again for a part 4. 4? Why? My throat feels ravaged enough. Why is there always more? I don't want there to be more. Guys, we need a Suris lozenge funge for these episodes. Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I guess this is the point where we sum up what we found. Alex Jones is a sub, and he views Joe Rogan as a dom, but Joe Rogan is not actually giving Alex Jones what he wants. He's just giving him token affection, and that's making Alex edge. Did I get it all? I mean, that feels like a pretty accurate summation of everything that happened. Anyways, I do want to make an announcement there real quick. Most subs have more energy, or more like dom energy in their left pinky than all the car batteries in Atlanta, and most doms aren't. There you go. That was my statement for the day. Avalon of Babylon says, how much to never say that again? Avalon of Babylon, you need to be able to pay me enough to never stream again, and I don't think you have that kind of money. So, anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below when this goes up on YouTube. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and please don't be a weird Joe Rogan simp. That's just weird. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here.